Hey there, it's Jumbled Sunshine. This is day 2 of my official miracle morning, and I just wanted to do a little quick vlog to report back on that. As you know, yesterday I was pretty excited because even though it wasn't really the typical miracle morning that maybe you're supposed to have, which is like 1 hour uninterrupted, everybody else is asleep, I really enjoyed having the quiet time to spend one-on-one with each of my kids. So that was really good. And I found today it was interesting because the schedule's a little bit different depending on the day around here. And so for about the same block of time, things ended up quite a bit different than yesterday, but in some ways I got more done, and in some ways I got less done. So I'm still not sure. It's going to take me a while to make a decision about how well this is working for me. The things I like about it so far is I like the feeling of being up early. I heard a quote that said something like, not very many people like to get up early, but almost everyone likes the idea of having gotten up early. So I thought that was really a good point. And I do like the feeling of being like, hey, I got up early and I got a lot done. And, I really like that. Whether or not it's better for me to be up early in the morning to get things done or doing more of the night owl shift is still up in the air for me. I had pretty much gone through a period last spring where I came to the conclusion that I needed to just embrace being a night owl and not feel like it was somehow not as good as being an early riser. And I did a bunch of research about how being a night owl can actually be quite productive because it has a lot of the same benefits as being a morning person. If you are doing some work and activities and so forth before everyone gets up, then you get all this nice quiet time to think, meditate, read, write, whatever you want to do. When you're being a night owl, when you're staying up late, you have a lot of the same benefits as getting up early in that everyone has gone to bed. And so you have this quiet, peaceful time at night to get things done, finish up work, if you want to do reading or writing in your journal, things like that. And so I had pretty much gone through this period last spring where I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to embrace this. And I just accepted that I would sleep approximately from like 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. And then from midnight to 2 was or even 11 to 2, depending on when everybody else went to bed, I had like this 2 to 3 hours of just quiet time. I could work, I could get things done, and it's been pretty effective for me. And I found that since my health issues started about 7 or 8 years ago, since getting up was very difficult for me, I found that I had more energy in the evening, and so staying up late was easy for me to do, where getting up early was not easy. Anyway, that's kind of where I was at as far as night owl morning. The problem with being a night owl, it's kind of a plus and a minus because I have teenagers and teenagers tend to do things more at night. So in that aspect, doing my stuff at night was really good. They still usually were going to bed, by midnight, 11 o'clock. So even with that, I still got some quiet time to myself. But I don't know, sometimes teenagers need to visit, and late at night often ends up being the time they want to do that. So being up later for me seemed to make sense. The problem with the night owl routine is that if you are sleeping until 10 o'clock, it sounds so lazy, but if you go to bed at 2 and get up at 10, that's 8 hours of sleep. So it's not lazy. It's just altered hours. Have to defend it. But anyway, if you do that, the problem is, even if your teenagers are old enough to get up and get ready for school themselves, and even if you have a spouse who gets up with them and helps get them off and out the door, which is kind of how we've done it. My husband did the morning shift, I did the night shift. I didn't get that one-on-one time with the kids in the mornings, right, as they're going out the door, which I think is a good time because, like, if they touch base with you in the morning, sometimes it can just help them make better decisions during the day because they kind of have this lingering memory of having visited with you. That's my hope anyway. But then again, I did get some of that time at night, and then they got time with Dad in the morning. So it's worked out pretty well. The bad part is I just kind of feel like I want to be there at the crossroads, so I want to be there for them in the morning. If I do this miracle morning, I may be needing to go to sleep a lot earlier, which many people would say is a lot better because early to bed, early to rise is like one of those sayings where it encourages you to go to bed early and to get up early. And so that is definitely something that catches my attention. I figured that wisdom of the ages is there because other people have discovered that. However, when I was trying to embrace my night owlness, I did a lot of research and found that perhaps it didn't matter so much if you were up early or up late, as much as just that you had a nice, solid, consistent sleep time. I'm still not sure where I stand on that. One of the pieces of research I came across when I was studying about the difference between being a night owl or an early bird is that early birds tend to get tired really early at night. And so if they do have a late night obligation, some kind of a party or a business, something or another where you stay later and you're going to be out till 9 or 10 o'clock, they have a really, really hard time staying up. Whereas night owls, even though night owls stay up late, if they have to get up early, they apparently can make that adjustment more easily and just like make themselves go to bed early to get up early, or they can get up early and just deal with it for a day or two. Their natural cycle's still going to take them back toward staying up late and sleeping in some. But anyway, there's some research actually saying that in some ways you can be more flexible if you're a night owl. So the jury's out on that one. But I know the prevailing thought out there is that getting up early, it makes you like more productive and more amazing. So all of that said, I want to talk about today's miracle morning. And it was kind of interesting because, again, it's not what would be the typical. So to review, the typical one, as outlined in the book, is that you do these life savers, which S.A.V.E.R.S is S for silence, A for affirmations, V for visualization, E for exercise, R for reading, and S for scribing. And so I'm still every day, the 2 days I've done it, have written down those, and then I kind of have those as my guideline as I go through the morning. And since I'm doing this in between family staggered leaving times, I'm customizing it a little bit for myself. So today I'll just kind of go through my quick timeline. This is the unusual miracle morning that I had. So I got up at 6:30 and visited with my daughter who was leaving early to go to jazz band. And her ride came and got her. I grabbed all my stuff, got dressed, sat down at the kitchen table at 6:50, so that would be 20 minutes later. So I had a little bowl of cereal, and then I was sitting there eating it, looking over my schedule really quick, just to remind myself everything I'd put on the calendar yesterday. So then I started reading, but as my husband was going out the door, he handed me the phone, and he said, "I'm going to call you because I need to talk to you about this conversation I had with a coworker." I was like, okay. So he got on the road and I was sitting there and it was all quiet. And I'd started reading and then he called. So it was good. We had this wonderful conversation. Like I said, in the past, I would have been sleeping during this time. So as he commuted in, we were able to have this good conversation about some things going on at work and some future thoughts that he has on where he's going with his career. So that was really good. By then it's 7:30 and my son was getting up and getting out the door. I talked to him for a minute and was able to take care of some business with him. And then at 7:35, I started reading. And again, I was reading out of the Happiness Project until I ran out of my free sample pages. And I decided, yes, I want to buy it. So I went ahead and purchased the book with the Audible add-on. So I'll be listening to that over the next few days because I just listen to audiobooks like constantly. All right, so I did some reading. Like I said, I did get some good reading time in. And a quote that I came across that I really liked was from the Happiness Project. It was actually a quote by Benjamin Franklin from his autobiography, which, if you've never read, is really fascinating. I would highly recommend it. But he had this list of virtues that he was trying to develop in his life. And then he made like a little tracker and would like check off each day how well he did on each of these virtues. And one of his virtues was temperance. His phrase to like help himself be more temperate, one of them was eat not to dullness and drink not to elevation. I thought that was quite interesting because we all know what it feels like to eat to dullness. I don't actually drink, but, I've had too much caffeine and that can make you feel pretty elevated. The idea here is to be temperate and to be moderate in what you're doing. And I just liked that phrase, eat not to dullness, drink not to elevation. You could even think with the drinking to elevation, like a sugary drink, like a shake or something, maybe get the like mini shake at Dairy Queen instead of the large. So, you need to figure out for yourself how much food makes you feel dull and listless and not energized, and how much drink makes you feel ill or like sugar high, whether it's a sugar high, caffeine, alcohol, whatever you're drinking that can have an effect on you. Be moderate about it. So anyway, there's my quote for the day. So by this time it was 7:45 and I helped my youngest son get ready for school and off. I was like, okay, my whole miracle morning's gone and all I've done is reading so far and good quality time with my family. So I was feeling a little bit frustrated, but I was also starting to get a little bit sleepy, which usually happens to me when I get up early, which is one of the reasons I haven't done it. So I decided it was time for exercise. So I did some stretching first, but then I decided, I'm like, you know what, for my exercise, I'm going to just vacuum the floor, clean up this room. And for some of you, that might not be very good exercise, but for me, that is, because I have not been as active as I should be. And so I've put on weight and I am trying to make a change. My health issues make it difficult for me sometimes to get up and do what I should be doing. And I tend to default to computer work and things that I can do more with my mind. But I feel like I'm letting my body go and I need to change that. So I thought, you know what, maybe my exercise sometimes is going to just be getting up and doing some cleaning around the house, things that have been bothering me. So that kind of took up about 35 minutes or so, which is a good time. It gets my heart going. I was a little bit, getting a little bit sweaty. Sorry, TMI. But that's, I've heard, is a good way to know if you're exercising to the right amount. I did a little bit more stretching just to finish off exercising, kind of hurting my back. And so I was doing some stretching. And then my oldest son had wanted to visit with me. He's like, do you have time? And I'm like, it's 9:00. And I'm thinking, no, because I still haven't scribed or done some of these other things that I wanted to do. But I'm like, you know what? My kid is more important. So I was like, sure, if you can come talk to me while I'm stretching. And so I did my stretches and he started talking to me about some different things he's working on. He's got a lot of brilliant ideas about time management, some things he's been working on for years and years, developing a system. And hopefully at some point that's something that we can put out there for you to see some of the awesome things he's done with some different, he's like used spreadsheets and formulas to help people figure out how to best manage their time. And then I visited with my daughter-in-law and he on some dream house plans that they've been putting together, and that was just kind of fun. We visited for a while, and then it was pretty much time. I was like, okay, I probably should go get to work. So by about like 10:15, I was like, okay, my miracle morning's over. I will do that other stuff tomorrow. I'm still just going to feel happy about what I accomplished today. So the things I accomplished on the checklist were planning. I did do some affirmations as I was reading the Happiness Project. She had a list of like some great quotes and things, and I went through those and thought about them. And some of them that I liked, I was like, okay, I'm going to integrate these. Hopefully tomorrow I will actually start making a list. I want to have a list of favorite quotes. I did not do any visualization. I did do some silence. I got really warm when I was vacuuming. I stepped out onto the front porch and just stood there in the wind and felt the wind and listened to it, and just kind of like felt the peace of being outdoors for a few minutes, and that was really nice. So I did silence, affirmations, no visualization. I did a lot of exercise, probably like an hour's worth, and then I did my reading. I did not do my scribing. But then I guess I can just add here, I'm doing my vlogging. So I feel pretty good about today. Compared to sleeping for that whole time, it was fantastic. I mean, think of all the things I accomplished that normally I might go on throughout the day not doing. You know, the cleaning I got done, the getting my heart rate up, taking care of myself, getting some good reading in, some good visit time. So I think I did pretty good. So it was a good morning. It was much better than just being sleeping during that time. And I feel good about it. So that's day number 2. Hopefully I will be back again. I'm committing to be back again for day number 3. This is Jumbled Sunshine. Have a great day.